Holy cow, look at this mess on my driveway. All the way down, all the way out to the street. This is because you guys didn't like pine straw, you wanted red cypress mulch, and I put the red cypress mulch, but I don't have gutters. I don't have the rain deflector like you see over here. I have a rain deflector on the roof. I don't have anything like that. So this gets beat with water, especially with the rain we've been having, and pounds the mulch and makes it float out. So what we're gonna do is we're going to install a landscape edging to help keep the mulch in this area. And they got this little stuff, it's at Lowe's, it's like 10 bucks for an 8-foot length. You get about 7.5 feet out of it. I need almost 32 feet. We're gonna go get 4 lengths. So that'll be about 28 to close to 30 feet, and we'll get a 4-footer. Actually 2 4-footers. I already tried a dummy area and it seems like it's gonna work, so I'm gonna show you guys how to do this. It's real quick, it's real simple. For about, what, for less than 50 bucks, I'm gonna solve my edging issue right here, and I'm gonna keep my mulch in my property. It's gonna cost about 50 bucks. And we're gonna go to Lowe's and we're gonna do it right now. But the first thing you wanna do will be to measure out how much you need here. So I used a walking stick, you know, the little wheel that counts it all out. You can measure one of your blocks here and then just multiply that by. I figured they were like 4-foot lengths. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 4 is 24. I actually walked it out and it came up to almost 32 when you go all the way up. So just this side we're worried about right now for video purposes. And then don't forget, you're also gonna have a little area possibly right here to contend with. So what we're gonna do is put a 4-footer, a 4-footer, and curve it. We're gonna curve it right here, and I'll show you guys how to make that curve. Then we're just gonna go on up, connect it all in, and see what we can do. So like I said, we're gonna go to Lowe's, and this video is not endorsed or sponsored by anybody. So this is just, you know, long guy, side hustle guy, just gonna give you guys some tips and tricks with a product that I found off the shelf at Lowe's that I think is pretty neat. Let's give it a shot. Okay, here we go. So we got all this different type of edging that's available to us. That's the common, like the black piping, but you gotta like dig that down, and it's flexible, so you actually have to like dig a trench somehow, one way or the other. But this is this newer stuff that's available. At least it's new to me. I've never used it before, from COL-MET.com. So you guys can check this out online. Again, I'm not endorsed or sponsored by them. But here's the instructions. Snap the stakes off, form it to where you want it to go, beat it in with a hammer. But when you beat it in with a hammer, I suggest you use wood block, and I'll show you so you don't dent or discolor it. It comes in green and it comes in brown, and I like the brown. So this is it right here. And you see it's flexible. So you can bend it around where you need to go. It's 8-foot lengths, and at the end you have the stakes. This is 2 stakes. You pull these off with pliers, and I'll show you. And then you line up this part with the next one. Sorry for that. See how this one's on the bottom? The stakes are up top. And this one's on the top. The stakes are on the bottom. So you put the next piece with the bottom here, peel the stakes off the top, and then you put them through to connect it. I'll show you how to do that. But that's an 8-foot length, and it tells you right here to use 7.33 after you take the stakes off. Now, if you don't use the stakes, then you have an 8-foot length. If you just needed one 8-foot length, you can leave the stakes on. So what we're going to do is we're going to get 4 of these at 10 bucks a piece for 40. And then we're going to get a couple of these 4-footers that they have back here. All right, first thing we're going to do, we're going to clean up our workspace. So let's go ahead and get all this crap blown back in. All right, the next thing that kind of concerns me is the edge here where it's a little bit of muck from the rain. But we're going to rake along this and just kind of clear away some of these chunks of the mulch. So it makes it easier for us to drive the edging into the dirt. and we don't have big chunks of mulch blocking us. So we'll just rake that out of the way real quick. Okay, we have a clean workspace now, and we went ahead and we scraped the mulch out of our way for the most part. So now what I went ahead and I did is I laid out what I went ahead and I did. Is that proper? What I ended up doing next was I laid out the edging along the curve here. And you remember at Lowe's, I showed you how they're very flexible. So what we're gonna do is lay them out exactly how you want them to go into the edge. And remember, you have the stakes. So when you peel these two stakes off right here, which I'll show you in a second, then you have this strip, which lines up on this right here, and you drive the stakes right through, and that becomes one, more or less. If you leave a little bit of space, you can let water drain, which is why I did it this way. Also to show you a bend. You don't have to bend, you could just end it, and then end it, leave a little space right here at the crack for water to drain. Even put like patio screen right there a little bit so water drains but mulch doesn't. But I wanted to show you this edge and show you how you can create a corner like that. But you got it all laid out. It's ready to be beat down into the dirt there. Make a nice little edge about 2 to 3 inches above the sidewalk is what I'm looking for. And then you'll peel these stakes off, put this to this spot here, and then you put your stakes through, okay? And you continue it down and you form it all in. But first, let me show you this edge. Okay, real simple. The bigger your pliers, the easier this will be. But you got your stakes right here. You got a little like tack weld right here, little tack weld right here, here, and here. So first, grab it right there and bend. And you'll get that little tack weld to break. There's a stake. That's one. And then you got number 2 right here. There's your second stake. All right, and then the stakes go right in like this, and you line them up. Now let me show you that. All right, I have this laid out, just sitting here. This is the one we just took the stakes off of right here, okay? And we got it right up against a brick, and we're gonna leave the stakes in up there because there's no reason to take them out. So we're gonna drive this in as a unit right there, and it lines up perfectly with this one right here. So we'll take these stakes off of these two. I already did a dummy run of this, but we'll take these 2 stakes off right here, and then we're gonna line this up, and that's gonna drive the stakes in, make this 1, and then right here, I made the 90 here. Actually, it's a little bit more than the 90. Let me show you how we did that. Okay, bending metal that's thin like this is not hard to do. All you need to do, place it on the floor, put a piece of board over it, just like so. Put your weight on the board, just like that, okay? And then grab it and bend. And this will make a rounded 90. Now, if you need it to be square 90, once you get it up, then you take a rubber mallet and then you would beat it. Once this is up, then you would beat it to form the 90 of the wood corner right there. That's all you gotta do if you wanna make a hard turn. All right, a board and pull up, too easy. All right, guys? Okay, now you got your one board, your one piece here that's gonna go like this, that we took the stakes out of the top already right there. Now we got this piece here that we took the stakes off of. Now we just line it up, put our stakes through. I like my steaks medium rare. It's gonna be kind of hard to do one-handed, hold on. Get your steaks started. Okay. Now with me, I want this to be right. There we go. And this is the piece that we put that little 90 on right here. So now we're just going to line this up and drive the whole thing in. This probably wouldn't be a bad idea to wear some gloves messing with this metal. Line it up here. I didn't clear the mulch away on this area here, so it is a little bit harder for me. So we'll just do this. Now, taking a board, go to where you need an absolute end. Okay, up there it can be perfect or not, it doesn't really matter. Up here we want an absolute end. We want it to line up with the concrete correctly. So start where you need it correct. We'll give this a little love, a little tappy tap. Make sure we're lined up where we want it, right at the end. And use a board so you don't damage the metal. Drive it in all the way up. And when you get to the stakes, drive the stakes in. Until it's flush, then use the board. Noting there's additional spots for stakes if you want them. If you're curving this around a curve, you're going to want to use those additional stakes. I'm driving that down just a little bit because this piece goes on top. And there's an edge installed. But that's going to definitely be a huge help with keeping the mulch in the bed. And I'm just going to continue on now. All right, that's that. That should leave enough of a gap right there that water can drain out. But this is actually sealed to this, so it's not like two separate units where this might peel out or that might peel out because it's staked. And that's why I rounded it. So water should be able to get out and trap the mulch. So we got our first piece in, and you see you just got to work it. Just keep working it with the wood and the hammer. Have patience. It's a little splashy because of the mud, but and then just go ahead and keep on rolling it around. Let me finish up and I'll show you guys the finished product. Okay, hopefully that's showing pretty good in the video. I got the second piece in, and what I'm doing is I'm keeping it about 2.5 inches above the concrete. All right, I don't want it too high. I just want to try to help. Just try to get the edge here and see, no pun intended, and see if that's all, you know, that it's going to take to keep my mulch in. I don't really want it to be too high though, but we'll see what happens. All right, we'll do one more in regular speed and close out the video. First, break the stakes off the end that you're gonna seam up with the piece you just installed. Pliers. Figure on the end what you're gonna do. If you need to break them off or if that's gonna be it. That's gonna be it. We're just gonna end it there. I'm not too worried about the last foot not having it. Honest to God, when the mulch is all piled in, you won't even see it. We're going to stand it up and feed the stakes through. Line it up so it's pretty close and feed your stakes through. And you can just use your block of wood to get it started. All right, come down to your next set, feed it in. That's going to keep your edging from wandering while you're putting it in. And we'll go right to the end with this one. Now that you got it set, all you got to do now is drive them in. Line it up, drive them in. Working your way down the piece. You got a little space right here. That little space right there. Come down to the end. Give it a little love. And now that space is gone. Ta-da! Okay, so I put down about $20 in mulch. I got 5 bags of mulch at a little over $3 a bag, plus tax. So it was like $19 or something like that. And so I put the mulch down, but let's go ahead and take a step back. And now let's take a look at the finished product. And hopefully, like I said, it's gonna do what I need it to do and just retain the mulch better than what it was doing. And so that looks pretty nice. Total cost was $57 for the edging, about $20 for the bags of mulch to touch it up. So, you know, looking at about $90. So figure $100 if you get a couple more bags and get a little bit better behind the bushes, but there's no need for that. Looks good. Not too shabby. I sprayed the weeds and took care of that. Very inexpensive, but very nice and very clean.